All right. Welcome back to No Filter MMA. This is, of course, none other than your boy BJ back with another live stream. Let's talk, guys. Let's talk. Somebody's in the live chat. Who is it? I see somebody. Oh, boy. What a long, eventful day. So I got a couple things I want to talk about before I get into the topics listed. You guys see the topics. I want to talk a little bit about Ufc Stockholm, Uriah Faber, a couple other things. And also I have officially been called out. So, first of all, I want to talk about, I just wanted to get something off my chest real quick. You know, there's people in this world, guys, who just can't stand dealing with themselves. You know? And I hate to be so cut and dry, but this day and age you have to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to be so cut and dry, you know, with people, because, guys, I'm gonna just be real with you. You know, I'm 29 years old, and I say in the last 5 years of my life, maybe 6, 7. Well, no, probably about the last 5 or 6 years of my life, I've started to be more perceptive, you know, in my ever maturing mind, if you want to call it that. Perceptive of people, you know. And the one thing that I've noticed about people is, you know, if a person is feeling some way about themselves, if a person is feeling some kind of way about the life that they live, and if someone is feeling some type of way just about everything, about you as a person, you know, you have to be wary of those people. You know, because those people will try to dim any light that you shine. You know, people will try to take you off will try to derail your train in a heartbeat. Their lives are so miserable that they want to spread the toxicity to everyone around them. You know, and especially when you're talking about people who don't have much of a life. These people don't work out. These people don't have any friends. These people live a mechanical life, you know. And these people, they hate that their life is the way it is. And instead of finding something that makes them happy, finding something that makes them want to get it. I found something that makes me happy, and that's what I'm doing right now. You know, but some people, you know, people who don't have any goals, any motivation, they expect things just to happen without working for them. Those can be some of the most miserable people in the world. I'm just saying. And when you experience those people, you know, those people can, if you're not wary of those people can catch you off guard. Those people can definitely catch you off guard, because when they throw that toxicity at you, it can mess with your brain. But then when you sit back and you think about this, you know, when you think about these types of people and you think about what they do on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying, or what they don't do on a daily basis, you know, it is what it is. So just to put that out there, that has nothing to do with the topics that I'm getting ready to talk about. That's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. But anyway, let's get to some MMA shit. Okay, Jared Stockman, my boy Jared Stockman, what is up, my boy, in the live chat? He wants to know who called me out. Here we go. So you guys are familiar with Taylor Loader. If you guys aren't, go check out his podcast on SoundCloud, Winning with Taylor Loader. Okay. Taylor called me out. This guy, you know what? As a matter of fact, how about we listen to what Mr. Taylor Loader had to say about me? Do you guys want to listen to what was actually said? Instead of me trying to recap, because it's been hours since I heard it, So if you guys want to, yeah, okay, all right, Jared. Jared said he wants to hear it. Okay, Jared, man, I got you, bro. Let's get this thing pulled up here. Let me see. Give me just a second, man. I'm gonna get it going for you, homie. He has called me out. Can you guys still hear me? Is my audio good, guys? Can you hear me? Because my internet is squirrely sometimes. Let me know if you guys can hear me or not. If my audio is good, let me know. I believe it's enough for MMA and one MMA or die. No, man. I believe it's no filter MMA and one of MMA or die. Am I right? Okay, I don't know what you mean, dude. You got to tell me what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean. But Taylor has officially declared war on no filter MMA. People just always want to come for no filter MMA. I try to keep it real over here. I try to keep it 100 over here, guys, and we just got trolls everywhere. All right, man, I'm trying to pull this up, but Facebook is not wanting to work. Let's see. Let me try this. Hold on. Facebook tripping. So let me just go straight to SoundCloud. Yeah, man. So Taylor has officially called me out. Winning. Anyways, guys. So what Taylor was saying is, okay. So this is the thing about my podcast. I've told you guys before, when I try to give you guys a very balanced, a very unbiased opinion. You know what I'm saying? But when I have a dog in the fight, like when I'm still a fan. I'm not like I said before, I'm not trying to pretend to be something that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan from the beginning. So I'm a fan from the beginning. So if I'm a fan of somebody, it is what it. Here we go, guys. Tell me, can you guys hear that? The volume on SoundCloud is just not very loud. Tell me, guys, can you hear that? Can you guys hear Taylor talking? Yeah, man, it's just too low, man. It's too low. But anyways, what he was saying was that I'm a very biased person, and that I'm not very balanced over here at No Filter MMA. And the reason why he said that, and he came up with some examples, which I give him credit for doing his research. It is what it is. But what he was saying was, he called me out. He said that my views on two specific situations, which is Paulo Costa versus Yoel Romero and DC versus Stipe, were foolish. He said that he is here to save the MMA community from my bogus assumptions. Wow. He said he is here to save everyone from me and my bogus assumptions. So he thinks, this is what he said. He says that I am completely asinine for believing that Paulo Costa can and will defeat Yoel Romero. This guy said that I was crazy for saying that Yoel Romero, that Paulo Costa can and will defeat Yoel Romero. This is the thing, guys. This is the thing about that fight. So let me bring some of y'all back over to where I'm at. Okay. Both of these guys are fucking killers. Okay. Paulo Costa is a fucking animal, and he's a vicious killer. Yoel Romero is a fucking animal and a vicious killer. Okay. So we got that. We got that part of it already. Paulo Costa, people sleep on Paulo Costa. And this is why people sleep on Paulo Costa. For one, people think he's juiced up on steroids, which is completely false. That is asinine. That is asinine. People think he's on steroids. No. Look at the Brazilians. Okay? Look at the Brazilians that are in MMA. The Brazilian gene pool is very... It seems like the Brazilian gene pool is very athletic based. Like you could tell that traditional people, like ancestral Brazilians, were very physical people, because the Brazilians of today are still with people who maximize their physique, like Jessica Andrade, or Paulo Costa. Some of those people who maximize their physique, they're monsters, and Paulo Costa is a freak. He is a freak physical specimen. You know what I'm saying? And this guy hits like a train. So to absolutely say that Paulo Costa has no chance in beating Yoel Romero, now that's a little biased. That is a little biased. My perception of it was that Paulo Costa can and will beat him. Okay. Now, I think Paulo Costa wins this fight, but I'm not saying that Yoel Romero can't beat Paulo Costa. I believe Yoel Romero could beat Paulo Costa. Yoel Romero is an animal. When you put two animals in there, you never know what'll happen. Look at DC versus Stipe. You never know what will happen. Two animals getting ready to fight. Alex Gustafson and Anthony Smith. Two animals. Okay? So that was the first thing he called me out about. The second thing he called me out about, again, was the Stipe DC thing. And I'm just like, man, like, I understand that the momentum is behind DC right now. DC is one of the baddest men on the planet right now. I get that. I totally get that. But DC has been the underdog plenty of times in his career. Let's see what Jared has to say. I think everyone has a little bias part. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like everyone's a little biased. I believe everyone's a little biased. There's nothing wrong with being biased. There's nothing wrong with being biased. Yo, Taylor, work on your audio, buddy, so we can hear your shit talking. But anyways, guys, I believe everybody, when you are a fan of this sport, it's hard not to be biased because you're a fan first. I was a fan first. Before I started this channel 2 years ago, I was a fan first. I was a fan first. So I have people that I like. I like Paulo Costa. I like Tyron Woodley. I like Misha Tate. I like Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You know what I'm saying? Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Khabib, Mackenzie Dern. Those are the people that I like. Alima Lay McFarlane, Ryan Bader, Rory MacDonald. Like, these are the people who I was a fan of before I even started doing podcasting. Yes, Joanna, absolutely. 100%. Tatiana Suarez, all of it. Yes. So when these fighters have a fight come, I can't help but to root for them. But that does not apply to Stipe Miocic. You know what I'm saying? The reason that I say Stipe Miocic can win this fight is looking at Stipe Miocic as a fighter. Now, I have grown to become a fan of Stipe. But even before I was a fan of Stipe, before I was a hardcore fan of Stipe, I still would have said he's capable of beating DC. Absolutely. Stipe is a massive man. People, Stipe's he's on the leaner side of heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? But Stipe is still a fucking monster. He is still a monster. You know what I'm saying? And he is a great, well-rounded fighter. You know what I'm saying? So is DC. But DC, sometimes things happen in fights, and DC got the knockout. But I just feel like it's the second time around. I just feel like lightning. It's not gonna strike twice. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening twice. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Let's see, guys. Okay, so let's keep it moving. So, first topic that I want to talk about, and so that's the shout. That's the clap back at you, Taylor. You know what I'm saying? We can't even hear what you got to say because your fucking microphone is so low that nobody can hear you, bro. Turn your mic up so we can get some audio feedback. Next time I want to use what you have to say against you, buddy. Okay? We're going to leave it at that. That should just, on my end, I think that should just put the cap on the beef. And when Stipe knocks DC out, I can't wait to go live. I can't wait to go live, bro. Oh, I'm going to do some roasting. Okay. Jared, so can I ask, have you fired back at him at all for calling you out or doing that now? No, dude, it is what it is, bro. Taylor going to say what he got to say. The motherfucker is a loose cannon. He going to say what he got to say. But we are on polar opposites of the fence when it comes to this right here, boy. I feel bad for him. I feel so bad for him. And the first reason I feel bad for him is because Paulo Costa is about to go in here and start I don't think he's going to start Yoel Romero, but he's going to beat the shit out of Yoel Romero. And Stipe Miocic is going to go and get his belt back. It's simple as that. Stipe has a real good way of simplifying things when he talks about stuff. He likes to simplify it just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He makes it seem like a walk in the park. And he said it. I'm going to go in here. I'm not going to be where he thinks I'm going to be at, and I'm going to get my belt back. It's simple as that. That's why I fucking love Stipe Miocic, because he gets straight to the point. No bullshitting. None of all this bullshit that DC be talking, all of this bullshit. Fuck all that bullshit. I want to fight Brock Lesnar. All that WWE stint bullshit. That's bullshit. Let's get back to the real fighters. Let's get back to somebody who focused 100% on the person that, that's in front of them, instead of some pipe dream payday with Brock Lesnar that, of course, never came to fruition. That was a whole bunch of bullshit by the UFC, and everyone that watches, even the casuals, knew that was some bullshit. That's why nobody really put any weight on that bullshit. So let's be real. Let's be real. So, anyways, guys, on to the next topic. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Uriah Faber is making his return. Hall of Fame. Now, answer this question, guys. Did Uriah Faber get inducted into the Hall of Fame, or were they just talking that he will be a Hall of Famer? Because that'd be crazy if he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame and then comes out of retirement and wants to fight again. It's crazy. Did he get inducted into the Hall of Fame? Because Uriah Faber has been around for a long time. I remember watching in the early MMA days, like when I first started watching MMA. I think it was King of the Cage. King of the Cage still uses his picture on their little banner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when Uriah Faber was whooping ass in King of the Cage. I mean, he was whooping ass in King of the Cage. That was the shit. That was the shit. But he's coming back to fight Ricky Simone. Now, I got to give Uriah Faber his credit. Uriah Faber is looking good. You know, he is looking good. And he's a little older, but older fighters are on the roster currently. Older fighters are currently active. So I don't think that his age is really going to be that much. Now his time away from the octagon, probably. But he's 40. Yeah, he is 40. But I think Uriah Faber he's very well preserved, to be honest. Doesn't look like a 40-year-old guy. He's in great shape. You know what I'm saying? Faber is a good. He's looking good. Let's see. Let's look at. Okay, so he's fighting Ricky Simon, guys. Ricky Simon is people sleeping on Ricky Simon. He's a fucking animal. He's only lost one professional fight. He lost to Anderson Dos Santos at Titan FC 37 back in March 2016. He was on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender. He won on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Went back to LFA. Went on to LFA. He fought two times in LFA. Then he came to the UFC. He beat Mirab. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name. He beat Montel Jackson. He beat Ronnie Yaya. So, the guy he's on a streak. He's trying to work his way to the top. He's 15-1. That's a pretty badass record. And he just fought in February. So, that's a pretty badass record, 15-1. So, Uriah Faber is not coming back to some bullshit. He's not coming back to a can that he can just crush. Now he's coming off the win. It was 3 years ago though, but the win over Brad Pickett, December 17th, 2016. You know what I'm saying? He beat Brad Pickett. That was his retirement fight. Before that he had lost to Jimmy Rivera. He had lost to Dominick Cruz. He beat Frankie Sands. He lost to Frankie Edgar. He beat Francisco Rivera. He beat Alex Caceres. Lost to Renan Barão. Michael McDonald. He beat Iliri Alcantara. He beat. So he's got a decent record. He's lost twice to Renan Barão. Lost to José Aldo, Mike Brown, Dominick Cruz twice. So it kind of feels like, and he beat Dominick Cruz, and then he lost to Dominick Cruz, and then he lost again to Dominick Cruz. So he is like Dominick Cruz's adversary. I'm guessing. But if you go back to if you go back and you look at Dominick Cruz, look at Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber has lost a lot of the big fights. And, he's kind of like a Dustin Poirier. Like, Dustin Poirier won this fight that he just had, which was probably the biggest fight of his career. But there was so many other fights that Dustin Poirier was supposed to win that he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, if Uriah Faber comes back and starches a guy that's 15-1, that's pretty impressive. That's just, I don't know if it will put him in any kind of like title picture. I doubt that. But what I think is going on with Uriah Faber is I think Uriah Faber is thinking that this may be his opportunity to rule the bantamweight division. There's no TJ Dillashaw. Okay? There's no TJ Dillashaw. There's no Dominick Cruz. You got the you do have the Cejudo fight coming up, but with Marias, but that's a different fight. I think he feels like either one of them are pretty beatable. But think about it. The guy, let's see. I don't think he ever fought TJ. I don't think he ever. I don't think he ever fought TJ. No, he didn't fight TJ. He fought Dominick Cruz, and he's fought. Let's see. Well, he was fighting. I think he was fighting Frankie Edgar at featherweight. There's no Dominick Cruz. There's no TJ Dillashaw. So There's Cody Garbrandt. You got the Cody. I think Cody Garbrandt should be a flyweight, to be honest. But I think Dominick Cruz sees I think Uriah Faber sees that opening. That opening, he could go right in and he could finally get that belt. Because these things that go around and say, the greatest fighters to never touch UFC gold, Uriah Faber is always on that list. He is always on that list. But he fought Renan Barão for the title. He fought Dominick Cruz for the title. Maybe a third. Fought Renan Barão twice for the title. One was a fucking the interim title. Jesus, Uriah Faber. I don't know, man. He's fought for the belt a lot. Now he was he lost the title fight to José Aldo over at WEC. Lost to Mike Brown for the WEC featherweight championship. He lost again to Mike. God almighty, dude. He lost again to Mike Brown for the WEC championship. But he was the let's see. So he won the King of the Cage. He won the King of the Cage belt, the King of the Cage belt, and he had the WEC belt. So he's been a champion before, you know what I'm saying? But he's not a champion. Like, he's never made it to a championship in UFC. So Uriah Faber knows what it's like to be a champion. He just doesn't know what it's like to be a champion in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So this might be Faber's chance, guys. I would not count Uriah Faber out. I would not count him out. Like I said, the guy was badass in his last fight against Brad Pickett. He beat the shit out of Brad Pickett. He looked like the Uriah Faber of the past. And I felt like Uriah Faber, he knew he looked so good in that fight. He was like, damn, like, if I would have just waited to throw out that retirement word, you know what I'm saying? If I would have just waited till after this fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, after this fight. Because I didn't think he knew how good he was going to look in that fight. You know what I'm saying? And he looked fucking good. And I think Uriah Faber really just needed a break. He may be getting his second win, guys. I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. We'll see how good he looks, We'll see how good he looks in there. We'll see. But that is fucking interesting. It would be badass to have Uriah Faber retire, get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and come back and win the belt. Oh my God, what a fucking fairy tale story. What a fairy tale story that would be. Man. Let's see. Let me look up this UFC Stockholm card. I do want to talk about that. Yeah, I want to. That's a pretty decent card to ease us back in, because we was gone. Let's see. Jimi Manuwa. Volkan Ozdemir versus Ilir Latifi. That is the fight. That was the fight I want to talk about. Volkan Ozdemir versus Ilir Latifi. Now, Ilir Latifi, he was close, man. Ilir Latifi was close to getting that title shot. He was close, man. And I'm an Ilir Latifi fan. I am. Sorry, guys, but I am. I like Ilir Latifi, but when he lost that fight to Corey Anderson, when he lost that fight to Corey, that just took all of that and stripped it away. It took all of it. And see, the thing about Ilir Latifi is he's so short. He's so short, And Volkan Ozdemir he's not super long, but he's longer than Ilir Latifi. He's definitely longer than Ilir Latifi. But I feel like, but Volkan Ozdemir gets beat by smaller fighters. He always gets beat by smaller fighters. Got beat by DC. You know what I'm saying? But but Ilir has credible wins. Tyson Pedro, John Vellante, Ovince St. Preux. He's been in there with Corey Anderson. He lost to Jan Blachowicz. But he lost to Gegard Mousasi. But he's been in there. Ilir Latifi is with with that Greco-Roman style. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this guy. I think he punches hard, and we've seen what happens to Volkan Ozdemir when Volkan Ozdemir gets rocked. When Volkan Ozdemir gets rocked, ooh, like, he does not take power shots that well, man. I just don't think he takes power shots that well. I feel like Volkan Ozdemir, if Ilir Latifi can land a clean flush, one of those right hands on Volkan Ozdemir, he could knock Ozdemir out. And Ozdemir is coming off of a three-fight losing streak. He lost to DC, he lost to Anthony Smith, and he lost to Dominick Reyes. He got knocked out by DC, submitted by Anthony Smith, and I think it was a split decision with Dominick Reyes. I don't know. But as far as the momentum, you know what I'm saying, he's 1-3 in his. Ilir Latifi is he's 2-1 in his last 3 fights, and Volkan Ozdemir is 0-3 in his last 3. So I think that speaks. I think that speaks a little to who I think would win this fight. I think Ilir Latifi wins this fight. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like he can, if he takes Volkan Ozdemir down, he beats him. Volkan Ozdemir damn near has no ground game. But Volkan Ozdemir is a deadly striker. If Volkan Ozdemir can get set into his rhythm as far as the striking is concerned, he can win this fight. Because he was even piecing up DC. I mean, let's be real. Volkan Ozdemir was piecing DC up before DC beat the shit out of him. So it is what it is. This fight, it can kind of go either way. It can if Ilir Latifi can somehow close the distance, land a huge shot, or land a takedown, you know what I'm saying? I think he could win this fight. But if Volkan Ozdemir uses his distance, uses his size, and stays on the outside and picks Ilir Latifi apart, I believe that can change the course of the momentum of this fight. Because right now the momentum is behind Ilir Latifi. So if Volkan Ozdemir can come out here and pump a jab, a nice jab, like reminiscent of the Uriah Hall Paulo Costa fight. Uriah Hall kept pumping Paulo Costa with that jab, like Rose Namajunas was pumping Jessica Andrade with that jab. You know what I'm saying? Pump that jab in Ilir Latifi's face, keep him out, use a teep kick, use front kicks, keep him away from him. Then Volkan Ozdemir could possibly win this fight. And because they cutting ranked motherfuckers. They cut Elias Theodorou, you know what I'm saying? And he was ranked number 15, who had only lost 1 fight. You know what I'm saying? So Volkan Ozdemir, this is do or die for Volkan Ozdemir. This is do or die for Ozdemir because the UFC ain't motherfucking playing no more. The UFC ain't fucking playing no more. They cutting motherfuckers left and right. You better believe that. And it is what it is when it comes to that. And Volkan Ozdemir, if he loses this fight, Volkan Ozdemir could be up out of here, yo. Fought for the title just a couple years ago, and going from that to being out of the UFC. So, you guys tell me what y'all think about that. What y'all think about that? Do you guys think that this is a do or die situation for Volkan Ozdemir? I'm in. I think it is. I think Volkan Ozdemir has to do something. He has to win. He has to win spectacularly in this fight. He has to knock out Ilir Latifi. He gonna have to do some crazy submission like a Darce or something, or flying knee. He gonna have to get Ilir Latifi up out of there in order, I think, to keep his job. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay. So we have B. Malecki versus Duda Santana. Now, let me see. Let me look at this. Ooh, yeah. See, I was seeing some things about this B. Malecki versus Duda Santana. I was seeing some things online that were saying that this was a bantamweight fight, and I'm like, I don't think this is a bantamweight fight. I think this is a featherweight fight. You know what I'm saying? I think these girls are fighting at featherweight, and they are. Beta. That's her real name. Beta. Beta Malecki is fighting Duda Santana. Now, I don't know much about Duda. I really don't know much about B. Malecki. The only thing I know about B. Malecki is what I seen on The Ultimate Fighter when she fought. Let's see, Malecki. B. Malecki took up her record. I don't think B has much of a record. I think B was one of 0-0. Okay, yeah. So yeah, B. Malecki. Oh, she's 2-0. Okay, somebody on the Ultimate Fighter that season was 0-0. I think it might have been Chasson. Um, but anyways, I'm glad to see this fight. Now I don't know. I know that B. Malecki comes from a kickboxing background, and I know when she fought Leah Letson, that was like on full display. Like B. Malecki, like she almost finished Leah Letson. Like she hit. I don't think she finished Leah Letson, but she caused a lot of damage to Leah Letson on the Ultimate Fighter. That fight was absolutely brutal. That was brutal, but Leah Letson was able to hang in there. She was able to keep going. She was able to take B down. I think she exposed B. Malecki just a little bit, coming from that kickboxing background. You know, her ground game wasn't quite up to par. It is what it is when it comes to that. Um, you know, but B, B has really good striking, and B is long as shit. Like I would like to see Chasson versus B. Malecki. I would love to see Chasson versus B. Malecki because they're just long range, or even like B. Malecki versus Megan Anderson, because that's Megan Anderson's level. Somebody that's 2-0. Oh boy, Megan Anderson, boy, I'm telling you, she still thinks that she's about to be the face of the featherweight division. She really thinks she's about to be the face of the featherweight division, guys. Well, you got B. Malecki coming in there now and Duda Santana. So I don't know much about Duda Santana. Let's see if I can get any information on Duda. Cabojinha is her nickname. Cabojinha. Let's look at it. She's from Sweden, I think. No, maybe not. Oh, Duda Santana looks rough, boy. She looks like a heavy hitter. So okay, so she's 3-0. This is a good fight. This is a good fight for B. Malecki. This is a great way to build that division, guys. Look at the people with these small records, though. Look at Chasson. Chasson made the transition to MMA, and she's doing well. Worldwide rankings, Duda Santana is ranked number 45 best featherweight in the world. Pound, so she's looks like her fights have been against Alexandra De Cassia, Anna Costa, and Heloisa Azevedo. Her last fight was Luana Carolina. It was You got girls. You got girls. You got girls being signed. So, like I said, I hope Leah Letson moves back up. I hope Chasson moves back up. Hope Kat Zingano stays, maybe. So it is what it is. All right, let's see what we got next on this card, guys. You got Tanya Evinger versus Lena Landsberg. I think this fight is a do or die fight for both of them. I believe this fight is a do or die fight for both of them. I don't think so as much for Tanya Evinger as it is for, well, Tanya hasn't won yet. Let's see. Tanya lost Tanya's last loss was to Aspen Ladd. And the loss before that was to Cyborg. So, and then Tanya Evinger got injured. She got injured before the Aspen Ladd fight, and she said she thinks she jumped back in it too quick. And she wasn't able to get off the ground. She couldn't get off the ground, and due to the leg, so she felt like she couldn't really get up. Like she couldn't make her leg do what she wanted to do. So let's see. I mean, this is crazy, guys. I mean, Lena Landsberg is a very accomplished Muay Thai fighter. I mean, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Guys, Lena Landsberg is a 16-time. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, a 16-time world champion Muay Thai practitioner. But when you see Lena Landsberg fight, she doesn't really look like a 16-time world champion Muay Thai practitioner. She just doesn't look like a 16, like she's won all of these belts and all of these championships in Muay Thai. Like Lena Landsberg is her style, don't know how to describe her style. It's like she's very tentative. You know what I'm saying? Like she's tentative. It's like she doesn't have a lot of muscle up in her shoulder area. What the muscles that are required to throw a good punch, I don't feel like those muscles are there for Lena Landsberg. You know, now when she fought Yana Kunitskaya, she hit Yana with a couple of good shots, and then you got to remember, you know, Lena Landsberg has disgusting elbows. You know, now when she fought Lucy Pudilova, a lot of people said Lucy Pudilova won that fight. I saw Lena Landsberg winning that fight. I was happy that they gave that fight to Lena Landsberg because she won that fight, even though the damage showed more on Landsberg. I think the damage showed more on Landsberg because Landsberg's been hit way more than Lucy Pudilova. You know, I mean, so it's kind of like a Diaz brother, you know. You get hit for a long time, you build up a lot of scar tissue up in there, you know, so it is what it is. But I feel like Lena Landsberg doesn't hit, you know, she doesn't throw with a whole lot of power. Now, Tanya Evinger, on the other hand, Tanya Evinger throws with some power. Like Tanya Evinger is one of those scrappy. She's one of those scrappy first generation, you know what I'm saying, like wrestler, grappler, and will strike with you. Like she'll make the fight dirty. Like when she fought Yana Kunitskaya, woo-wee. Whoa. When she fought Yana Kunitskaya, that was crazy. Back in Invicta, like they stopped it. They stopped the fight, you know, with the knee in the face, and it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. Yana Kunitskaya was. When I had Tanya Evans on the show, she talked about how much she hates Yana Kunitskaya. I don't see why. I like Yana, but Lena Landsberg's record. Her last fight was to Kunitskaya. She lost to Kunitskaya. She beat Gina Mazzani. Remember that? I remember that. She beat Gina Mazzani. She lost to Aspen Ladd. She beat Lucy Pudilova, and she lost to Chris Cyborg. So it's like Lena Landsberg is like win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Now she hasn't strung together any losses, but she hasn't strung together any wins. She's 3-2 in the UFC, which I don't think they count the fight with Cyborg so much because people were fighting out of their weight classes. The only true featherweight that Chris Cyborg has fought since she's been in the UFC has been Amanda Nunes. A lot of people don't know Amanda Nunes used to fight at 145 back in the Strikeforce days. Amanda was fighting at 145 and she went to 135 because she didn't want to fight Chris Cyborg. How it happened. Accept it. Amanda Nunes is great. She's the GOAT, yes. But back in the day, Amanda Nunes wanted no smoke. She wanted no smoke with Cyborg. But she dropped down to 135. And that's how that whole thing played out. And then Marlos Conan went up and fought. Marlos Conan stepped up and fought Cyborg and fought her twice. Yeah. So, I feel like this fight here, this is going to be a very entertaining fight. I've seen some striking out of Tanya Evinger when Tanya was fighting Aspen Ladd. She was piecing Aspen Ladd up. And people, Aspen Ladd striking really is not that good. Like, I see why Aspen Ladd beats a lot of her opponent. Like, I think the fight with Sajara Eubanks was very close with Aspen Ladd. It was very close. Now she beat Tanya Evinger decisively. She beat Lena Landsberg decisively. She has the nastiest ground and pound. But as far as like striking on the feet, Aspen Ladd is not that good. And when they were on the feet, Tanya Evinger was getting the best of the exchanges with Aspen Ladd until Aspen Ladd was able to take her down, and Tanya said she was not able to get back up. So when Aspen took her down, that's when Aspen won the fight. But when the fight, and it's crazy to say that, someone beat Tanya Evinger on the ground, but it is what it is. But Tanya Evinger, her striking is, it's not the best looking striking, but it's effective. I think she landed a few hard shots on Cyborg too. I have to go back and watch that fight. But Tanya Evinger is fucking tough as nails. I think this will be a good fight for her. I think Yana Kunitskaya kind of booted Lena Landsberg out of the rankings because Lena Landsberg became ranked at one point. But I think Kunitskaya, after she beat Gina Mazzani, but I think Kunitskaya knocked Landsberg out of the rankings. So it is what it is. She would have been good. Tanya Evinger, if she had beat Aspen Ladd, she would have been in a much better position. But one fight for I hope Tanya Evinger sticks around because one fight I'd love to see would be Tanya Evinger versus Kat Zingano. That fight would be amazing. Tanya Evinger versus Kat Zingano, fuck, I would pay money to see that. But yeah, my official pick for this fight, I'm going to have to go with Tanya Evinger. I believe Tanya Evinger can get it done. I think Tanya can get it done on the ground. Lena Landsberg hasn't really showed much of a ground game, which I know she has a ground game and she trains a ground game. But when it's fight time, it's like all that goes out the window. Like she doesn't know what to do when she's on the ground. Jimi Manuwa versus dude. I think this might be a do or die fight for Jimi Manuwa. Yeah, it's like some of these non-pay-per-view cards. It's kind of like they put a lot of do or die people on these cards. You got Ilir Latifi and Volkan Ozdemir. One of them is this is a do or die situation for one of them. This is possibly a do or die situation for Jimi Manuwa. Jimi Manuwa has lost 3 in a row. He lost to Volkan Ozdemir. He lost to Jan Blachowicz. He lost to Thiago Santos. He beat Corey Anderson and he beat OSP. Everybody done beat OSP. You know what I'm saying? But he lost to Anthony Johnson. He lost to Alex Gustafsson. He lost the rematch to Jan Blachowicz. Wow. He beat Ryan Jimmo, and the rest were cans. So the rest was cans. It is what it is. But I think that Jimi Manuwa, you know, if he loses to this guy that nobody's really heard of, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's heard of Alexander Rakic. Nobody's heard of this guy. Let's just be honest. Nobody's heard of this guy. So, you know, I think a sleeper fight on this card is Makwan Amirkhani versus Chris Fishgold. I think that's a sleeper fight. I think the Daniel Tamer fight versus Sung Bing Joe, I think that's a sleeper fight. And on the prelims, I think the Darko Stosic versus Devin Clark, I think that is a sleeper fight as well. So I'm excited for this fight. Then, of course, you got Alex Gustafsson versus Anthony Smith. I did a video on that yesterday. I didn't make an official pick, though, so I don't know who to pick. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on UFC Stockholm, Sweden. It's going to suck having to watch this fight at work because it starts so fucking early. But it is what it is. But, yeah, guys, go check out Winning with Taylor Loader on SoundCloud, guys. I'm telling you. This guy talks so much shit. He talks so much shit. So much shit. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm pretty balanced when it comes to talking about fights. I think I'm pretty balanced. I think, you know, unless it's one of my favorites, like I've said some of my favorites could possibly lose a fight. I've said that over and over and over again. You know? I thought that Jillian Robertson would lose. I thought there was a chance that Jillian Robertson could lose to Veronica Macedo. Just because of the striking. And I've always said a good, decent striker beats Jillian Robertson because she doesn't engage in the striking. She just gets hit and goes for the takedown. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't engage in the striking. She doesn't throw anything that can throw you off. She doesn't. She just gets hit and she goes for the submission. It's worked for her more than it's not, but it is what it is. So I'm not completely biased, guys. I'm not completely biased, you know. And like I said, I would have had y'all guys listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the audio sucked so bad I couldn't hear anything. Couldn't hear anything that we couldn't hear anything he was saying. So sorry, guys. I would have had that treat for you, but somebody has garbage audio. So yeah. But anyways, guys, I just want to come on here real quick and talk a little bit about some things and leave a message with you guys before you leave, before I get off of here. Just be loyal to people. If you fucks with somebody like that, be loyal. Don't let situational things. Don't let something that's situational cause something that's going to last for a very long time. Don't let something situational. Don't let something seasonal. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't let something seasonal turn into something that lasts a lifetime. Because I'm telling you guys, you know, the mind nowadays is completely different than what it was 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, you know, and people nowadays are completely content with dismissing people out of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like people are completely content with that nowadays, you know, and I'm just saying, you know, think about your actions before you do them. Think about the consequences of your actions, you know what I'm saying, before you do them. And you guys need to be, and another thing I want to lay out there, guys, humble yourselves, okay? Then once again, this has nothing to do with any of the topics listed. But like I said, just be humble, guys. Be fucking humble. That is one thing that I have learned in my adult life. If I haven't learned anything else, it is to be humble. Because what you got, what you think you got, and what you think you got, and how comfortable you think you are in your life right now, and how comfortable that you're boasting about your life right now. That, you know, you boasting about that comfortable life and how good you think you got it. All that can be gone like that. So that's my parting message for you guys today. All right. Anyways, guys, drop them comments in the comment section. Let's talk some UFC. Let's talk some MMA. Hit that like button, hit that dislike button. And if you haven't already, guys, subscribe. And you guys have a good night, and I am out.